Hi there, it's Mrs. Drake with the flute. And we are going to be doing lesson 19. We're going to be doing lesson 19. So I hope you already warmed up a little bit on your scales. And even before we go on to lesson 19, I'd like you to flip back to page 26. I'd like to do the third one down. On page 26, the third one down, the one that's called articulation. Articulation refers to the tongue, using your tongue correctly. And on song number 3, do you notice that it's kind of 5-note scale-ish? Actually, I should say 4-note scales because there's no Fs. But do you notice it's like a pattern? You will definitely notice it's a pattern. It's a tongue exercise. So on song number 3, check the key signature. I'm going to do it about ta, 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 ti, 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 ti. That's speed. Whenever you need a breath, remember to drop out for a microsecond and grab a breath. Don't lose your spot in the music, but remember you can drop out for a microsecond and grab a quick mouth breath, of course. Okay, everybody, song 3, warm up a B flat. This is page 26, the third one down, the one called articulation. 2. Remember to think of the word 2. 1, 2, ready, go. Definitely a tongue exercise. Okay, everybody flip over to 19. Lesson 19. Okay, so I'm looking on the top of the page. You can see there's a new rhythm and a new note. So let's start with the new rhythm. Everybody, song 1, I do not care for the way they did song 1. So I give you permission. You can scratch off song 1. I don't care for it. Song 2. All right, let's start with song 2. Notice it starts with a dotted quarter note. You can see that the quarter note has a little dot right next to it, so it's called a dotted quarter note. The dot adds half, so the value of that note is 1.5. So it's kind of like an extended ta, a long ta. The one next to it, the C, has a little tail, so it's called an eighth note. You could consider it like TT is 2 eighth notes. That's a T by itself. So it's a dotted, which is half of a beat. So the dotted quarter note is 1.5. The eighth note is half. So together it equals 2. You will almost always see a dotted quarter note followed by an eighth note. If you look through the page, you can see there's tons of dotted quarter notes, and after them is always an eighth note. Almost all the time that's going to be true. They're almost like best friends. Whenever you see a dotted quarter note, it's followed by the eighth note. So song 2, the B flat is 1.5. The C is cut very short, half of a beat. So song 2 would go ta, ti, ta, 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 ti, ta. Kind of tricky at first, kind of has a nice jazzy bounce to it. I'm going to play song 2. The first time through, you might want to just listen to me play it. I would recommend holding your flute kind of on your shoulder, put your fingers on it. But as I play song 2, just move your fingers, really look at the music and see if you can keep up with me with just your fingers, and then back up the video and then try to play it with me. Okay, this is song 2. I'm going to warm up the first measure. Okay, so check the key signature. Everybody, song 2. 1, 2, ready, go. You see how that dotted quarter note, eighth note has kind of a nice jazzy bounce to it. Okay, song 3 is called America. This one is a classic song. If you don't know it, I bet your parents might know it, and I would bet your grandparents definitely know it. They probably definitely know it, people of their age. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, is some of the words. But anyway, it's called America. Check the key signature, 3 flats. I hope you know that means B flat, E flat, and A flat. Okay, there is an A flat like at the end of the third measure. Later there's a whole bunch of A flats. Do you trust yourself to remember to do A flat? Feel free to draw a flat sign by the A's, or you can write the word pinky. Something. It's better than playing a wrong note. Also notice there's a high B flat. By the way, on these longer songs, have you noticed that they put a little tiny measure like that 6 there? That means the 6th measure. And then over here, the 10, the 10th measure. But anyways, in measure 7, I hope you recognize that that's high B flat. If you don't, you have my permission. It's okay on the first one to write the letter B flat to help yourself realize it. Don't write it on every note. If you write it on every note, it kind of makes the song too messy. But if you want to write it on the first one, it's okay with me. So there's tons of B flats and A flats. There's a few G's. Then down here, there, high C. It's the new note that's introduced up on the top of the page. So everybody, please take a look. It's in measure 10. It's the first note of measure 12. Do you see how it has a double ledger line? That is high C. The one next to it is A flat, but can you tell it looks different than the A flat because it has the 2 ledger lines, it has the extra ledger line. So this is high C. The finger position is same as regular C, but you just blow it with more power. So I'm going to play a regular C and then I'm going to play a high C. You might want to notice the lip position. Everybody try that. A regular C and a high C. Your fingers are the same. Just change your lips and your power. Okay, so on song, let me find myself a pencil. Okay, so on America, make sure you realize that when you get down toward the bottom, there is a high C. The second to last measure has a high C to A flat. That TT, I'm doing a high C to a high A flat TT. It's the second to last measure if you want to try it. First time through, again, the songs are harder. First time through, you might want to just put the flute on your shoulder and just move your fingers and see if you can keep up, and then pull back on the video and then try to play it with me. Okay, America, everybody find an E flat? Majestic means kind of slow and proud. Okay, here's going to be the speed. This is song 3, America. Ready, get set, go. Were you able to get the power? Were you able to get the high C's and the high B flats? Did you hear those dotted quarter notes? Yeah. Okay, song 4, high note practice. Scan through it, look on the second line. You'll see there's a bunch of B flats and a bunch of the high C's. Of course, there's also the new rhythm, the dotted quarter note. Check the key signatures. What I look for is A's. I'm noticing that song 4 doesn't have any A's in it anyway, so you don't have to worry about whether it's A flat or A natural. In this situation, it'd be A natural. Okay, song 4, find an F. Song 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, you need a lot of power on that second line. Make sure you take a good deep belly breath so you can have the power for those high notes. Okay, go to next page. Okay, song 5 is called Alouette. Alouette. I'm not exactly sure what it means. It's French. I think it's some sort of bird. Look through it. You see the repeat line. The first line is repeated. And then at the end it says DCL fine. Remember, that means leap back to the beginning and stop at the word fine. So you do the first line twice, then you do the second line, and then you leap back and do the first line again. You don't repeat it. So you do the total of 3 times the first line. So it's do the first line twice, then do the second line, and then leap back to the beginning and do the first line and stop at fine. There are some slurs, B flat, E flat key signature. I don't see any A's. I don't think there's any A's in this song, but there are some low F's. Do you recognize the low F's? I don't know if we've played any low F's yet today, but there are some low Fs right there. But what's nice is they're surrounded by high Fs. So remember, you don't have to change your fingers. In fact, everybody play a regular F and a low F. So they practice those Fs. The beginning, that's the speed I'm going to go. Again, it's kind of fast. It's a classic melody. Your grandparents, I bet, will recognize this melody. If it's too fast for you, again, put your flute on your shoulder and just see if you can move your fingers with me the first times if I'm playing it too fast for you. Okay, with all the repeats. 1, 2, ready, go. Repeat. Melody, kind of challenging. Did you recognize the 5-note scale there in measure 5? Okay, let's move on to number 6. Again, repeated. The whole song is played twice. Check the key signature: B flat, E flat, and A flat. And there are some A's in this song, so you might want to remind yourself, pinky, draw a flat sign. If you look on the second line, it goes up to high C. There's some high B flats and high C's there. And this one is one that you might know as Frere. The other name for song 6, they call it a French round, but I know it as Frere Jacques, or Are You Sleeping, a classic French song. Frere Jacques, dormez-vous. Frere Jacques actually means Brother John. It means Brother John in English. Let me warm up the beginning. Look ahead to measure 5. Everybody try to warm up measure 5. Challenging. Okay, song 6. I'm going to play it twice because it has a repeat. Song 6. 1, 2, ready, go. Very nice song. Okay, then the last one is Song for Hannah. Song for Hannah. Check the key signature: B flat, E flat, A flat. There are some A's, so again, if you want to remind yourself, A flat. Lots of the dotted quarter notes, the new rhythm, the dotted quarter note. But then what's catching my eye is first ending, second ending. Do you remember how to do first ending, second ending? So you start at the beginning, you play the first line, you start the second line, you play the first ending, you hit the repeat sign, which bounces you back to the beginning, you play that again, you play this, but then you don't play the 1 again, you play the 2 instead. And then you continue down here, that means a measure 11, you keep going, and then you hit that repeat sign, which bounces you back to measure 11, and you play that again. So it ends up being a pretty long song. Song for Hannah. Again, check the key signature, remember to use A flats. I'm going to warm up the beginning. Everybody warm up the beginning. Okay, Song for Hannah with all the repeats. Ready, get set, go. was lesson 19.